Hi everyone! So this video is going to be a little bit different. This isn't gonna be a makeup application video, but more of a rant or just an observation about the common makeup mistakes that we make that end up making us misjudge a product. Just a disclaimer, like this isn't meant to like bash like makeup beginners or people that are not really good with makeup yet, because of course we will always make mistakes as you're learning about makeup. This is really meant to like this is more meant for like people who like claim to have years of experience in makeup and yet complain about like, I don't know, just complain about products that don't perform according to their standards when they're using them incorrectly. So I guess it's more of that than like really not at all for makeup beginners, because as anyone who's just getting into makeup will always make mistakes along the way. It's expected, it's understandable. We all have gone through that. An example so that you'll understand what I mean. I have misjudged a skincare product before. This toner by Celitech. This is Celitech Brightening Toner. In one of my posts on my website before, I said that it was, it stung my face a bit. That it was like too harsh on my skin when I would use it before makeup. And I realized that it stung my face because it had glycolic acid, which is a good thing if you're using it as a microexfoliator or for something to get rid of your whiteheads, which I didn't know that it was supposed to be doing because I didn't read the label or the ingredients. Now, I know that it's actually a good product because when I use it at night before sleeping and not before makeup application, it stings just a bit, but then it reduces my blemishes and my whiteheads the next day. So that's an example. For makeup, I'm gonna start with something that I had just watched from other videos. People often complain about clumpy mascara from like, I mean, some mascaras are really clumpy even if you like, even if you use them correctly. But what I'm saying is these clumpy mascaras that are clumpy because you're using them incorrectly. Like they're only putting on one coat and not removing the excess product, or just removing like from the very tip of the applicator, when you're really supposed to like wipe off everything and apply multiple coats so that your lashes will not clump. Okay, next, smudgy mascara. Okay, so this is all about, for the first part is about mascaras. A smudgy mascara, well, the mascara doesn't say it's waterproof, so why do you expect it to be waterproof when it's not waterproof? So it will be a bit smudgy if you're teary-eyed like me. I have allergic rhinitis, so I'm always teary-eyed. If I'm wearing a mascara that's not waterproof or water resistant and it smudges a bit, I don't take it away from the product. That's me learning my lesson to like layer with a waterproof mascara. So when it doesn't even say it's waterproof or water resistant, like why would you complain that it's smudgy when you know that you're teary-eyed or sweaty or whatever? But of course, I mean, if it's really cold and you know you're not teary-eyed and it smudges, it's a terrible mascara. I'm just saying that when it's not the mascara, but that you didn't know that it wasn't waterproof, well, don't blame the product. And dry concealer that's in a pot or a pan, too dry for your under eyes. Generally, waxy concealers in pots are not really meant to be used on under eyes. They're mostly meant to be used on blemishes. You can use them on your under eyes if you have really dry, if you have really oily under eyes or an under eye area. But if you know you have dry skin, why would you use a dry concealer on your under eyes and then complain that it's too dry? It's not meant for that. That's why you have creamy and liquid concealers that's for your under eyes. If you insist on using like a dry, waxy concealer that comes in a pot for your under eyes, then you should prep your skin first by using eye cream or a ton of moisturizer under that, or a moisturizing primer. Again, don't blame the product when it isn't really meant for that. It could be a really good product for concealing blemishes, but not for your under eyes. So on concealer, again, like, you know these concealers that come in 2 shades in a pot or a pan or a palette, like the Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage. A lot of other concealers, a lot of other brands also do this as well. And the darker shade is, and people complain that the darker shades, well, it's too dark for my skin. I mean, I can't use it because it's too dark. That deeper concealer is really for concealing harsher, more pigmented blemishes, because the deeper color, darker color, will conceal it better. So what you're supposed to do is layer it with the light concealer that matches your skin tone over that darker concealer, so that you will conceal harsher and more pigmented blemishes better. Next, patchy powder products. Like when people complain that, oh well, this applies patchy, and you can see in other reviews, well, it doesn't apply patchy on some people. So I don't trust those kinds of reviews when they say like it's patchy on them and then it's not on others, because I tend to think that maybe you used the wrong brush, maybe you used like without setting your foundation or something. A powder product will be patchy if you use it on still tacky foundation. So if you're gonna use like a powder product over that, and you have oilier skin, and that foundation is a bit more oily and that doesn't really set, then don't apply powder directly. Use a translucent powder as setting powder before applying that blush or that bronzer. And then if still patchy, well, then that's when it's a bad product. And sometimes it could also be the brush that you're using. What if you're using like a brush that's too dense or a brush that's too fluffy, depending on what you want to achieve. So those are some things that like I kind of take with a grain of salt when someone says it's patchy, without revealing how they really used the product. Foundation or primer that doesn't last. For example, someone can be using like a silicone primer and then a water-based foundation, and you're supposed to use like for like, silicone-based primer with a silicone foundation, like a water-based primer with a water-based foundation. But that doesn't mean that you can't use a silicone foundation with a silicone primer with a water-based foundation, and vice versa. It's just that you will have to set it or do an intervention so that they will mix better together. But the general rule is like for like. And using foundation that's not meant for your skin type, like I would see people complaining on using like matte foundations that emphasize dry patches, or when you already have flaky skin and you expect like a matte foundation to cover that. Well, that's your skin, it's not the foundation, because again, these foundations are meant for oilier skin types if it's matte. And then if it's glowy and you use like a glowy, dewy foundation for an oilier skin type and then complain, oh, it slides off my skin, it doesn't last. Well, because you used a dewy foundation over your oily skin. You should be using like a mattifying foundation. My point here is, before complaining or like reviewing a product badly, you should make sure first that you're using the product correctly, especially before like posting it on social media or stuff like that. That's why I try my best not to like say negative things immediately about products that I'm not that familiar on how to use, because I know that I'm not a makeup artist, so I could be using it incorrectly. So that's why I do my best to research about how to apply that product first, or ways to like make that product work better before saying anything negative about products that I know will be read by people. That's it. Thanks for watching my video. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I see you next time. Bye!